an urgent warning to holidaymakers this morning after a 3-year-old was attacked by a dingo on Queensland's Gari Island.
That's right, folks. This week we get up close and personal with some of the locals here in the Great Sandy Straits. Not only does our little Charlie get very close to a dingo, but she also gets very close to some dolphins. But before we get into it, sit back, relax, and let us tell you the story of how the dingo almost ate our baby.
Hi, we're the James family.
Are you sick of your day-to-day life? Ever thought about doing something different?
Well, we did just that.
We bought an unfinished aluminium catamaran and we're fixing her up as we sail around the world.
Come along for the journey and click subscribe.
Daddy? Mommy? Charlie? James.
We have just completed an overnight sail south down the east coast of Australia and have arrived at Gari Island, which is home to a unique population of dingoes, which are considered to be one of the purest strains of dingoes left in Australia. One of the distinguishing factors of the Gari Island dingoes is their relatively pure genetic lineage. Because the island has been isolated for a long time, these dingoes have been able to avoid significant interbreeding with domestic dogs. And another thing they're getting famous for is their interactions with humans. Alright guys, so we arrived at Fraser Island.
And we came across for a walk along the beach because Charlie absolutely loves playing with the soldier crabs. Soldier crabs are very friendly, you can pick them up, they've got pincers, but they don't bite. And as we were walking along, Charlie stopped to pick up a soldier crab and she was about 2 meters behind us and we heard this massive scream. We turned around and there was a dingo attacking Charlie. So it had bitten her on the leg. I've gone straight after the dingo. Cait has picked up Charlie. This dingo kept circling, trying to get round me to attack Charlie the whole time. So for about 10 minutes, I was there trying to ward it off and it was trying to dart around me. So I'm trying to get close to the girls and it's running in circles just here, trying to attack Charlie. Luckily, another cruiser saw it, came in their tender to pick us up so we could get down to our tender because we weren't going to make it. It was only a little bit ways down the beach, but the way this dingo was attacking us was absolutely crazy. So we've made it back to the boat. We've reported it to the authorities, let them know. It had a tag in its ear. Turns out it was a female dingo and it has been harassing people on this beach for a little while. But the lesson that we learned was from now on, Charlie is always going to be in front of us. Because we're not even joking about this. She was literally 2 meters away. And we'd been looking back there less than 20 seconds ago, looking behind us because there was a whole heap of midgies down that end of the beach and we're like, oh, they must be in the trees or something. We did not see this dingo. Then we kept walking. Charlie's gone down to pick up a crab, literally 2 meters away from us and then been attacked. And if we hadn't have jumped on it straight away,
it bit her from behind, like it grabbed her upper thigh.
Yeah.
And I assume that's how they do it with their prey, grab the upper thigh and then like drag them. But
we were just really lucky that A, she was so close, B, that she squealed really, really loudly and we were able to get the dingo away. And we're just lucky that it didn't dig its teeth in fully. It was more of a nip and we'll put the photos of her leg up. She was bleeding, which made it a little scary at the time. Especially the scary thing is we've seen plenty of dingoes here, but generally speaking you just shoo them away and they leave and that's it. This one wasn't leaving. It was trying to dart around me, it was trying to get at the girls and it was relentless. It wasn't trying to get away.
yeah.
So yeah, lesson learned. Charlie should always be in front of us. The dingo almost ate our baby.
It did. And on the bright side, Charlie is now walking with a stick.
She wants her own dingo whacker. It's the only way she was going to come on the beach is if she had her own one. So, yeah.
She's walking and saying that the stick is to whack the dingoes. So that stick's making her feel a bit better.
But yeah, guys, if you're going to come to K'gari or Fraser Island,
please bring the sticks and please be aware.
Yeah, keep them in front of you because we've been here heaps of times and we had a very close call. It was quite scary.
Yeah. Dingoes are not always safe for humans because they are wild animals and can become aggressive, especially if they feel threatened or if they associate humans with food. In some cases, dingoes have attacked humans, particularly when they become habituated to human presence and lose their natural fear. Gari Island has signs and warnings to protect both humans and dingoes, encouraging people to keep their distance, walk with a stick, and secure their food to prevent conflicts and protect the safety of both visitors and the animals.
There's an urgent warning to holidaymakers this morning after a 3-year-old was attacked by a dingo on Queensland's Gari Island.
Thankfully, Charlie is doing well and feels quite proud to be a true Aussie kid. Not many can say they have a scar from a dingo bite. We're also incredibly grateful for the support we received from fellow cruisers who came to our aid on the beach. One important takeaway we'd like to share is that our actions have consequences for others. While feeding a dingo a fish you've caught may seem harmless, it can teach the dingo to lose its natural fear of humans, which might not affect you, but it could pose risks to others down the line.
And I understand in this instance the people did everything right. They scanned the beach, they looked around, but the dingoes stayed around. They're not scared of people, are they?
In this particular instance, yeah, you're correct. It did hang around. It looks to be a familiar animal. What you're seeing on the screen now, that shouldn't be allowed to happen. Dingoes should not be comfortable enough around humans that they're going to wander into a group of humans like that. It may not be the actions that you've done. That's what's unfortunate. It's possibly the actions that other people have done to cause this familiarity that then causes this animal to lose its fear. It's a free-ranging animal on a World Heritage area. They're not captive except for the water around the island. So the actions that you do may have consequences for somebody else, and that's what's happened in this particular case with this particular animal. Everybody needs to know their risk. They need to understand what they need to do to mitigate this from happening to themselves or to other people, and that's what we implore people to do, and work with us to prevent anything like this happening to you or others.
Okay.
Alrighty guys, before we wrap up completely our adventure with the dingo, we did want to make a couple of things clear because we've been asked quite a few questions since then. One of the things that we did want to make clear is we notified the authorities, but we didn't actually contact the media at all, even though we got huge coverage and we got contacted by people to be in the media. We declined all of those, even though we are out with you guys on YouTube and stuff. We just wanted to explain why, because people didn't understand. We put our lives out there for people to see, but we didn't want to make that as big a deal.
We have been contacted by the media to do interviews, and on any given day I would love to do an interview.
But the reason we didn't want to do it this time is because we're nature lovers and we want Charlie to be a nature lover, and so we didn't want to make this a big deal in our lives. It already was pretty scary and a bit of a defining moment, so we wanted after that to play it down, not keep it going, because then they'd want to talk to Charlie, they'd want to film her, and we just wanted to make it not that big a deal so she can still love animals, still love dogs, and not make it a defining moment. But we did decide to share it with you guys because we kind of share all of our life with you guys, and this was at the time a bit of a defining moment, even though we tried to play it down and make it not that big a deal in our lives. It was actually quite a scary encounter.
Yeah. On the positive note, we're really grateful that Charlie hasn't gotten a fear of dogs. That was one of my biggest fears, was that maybe she doesn't like dogs, and that maybe the next time we see a dog she will start crying or run away or just not want to be near dogs. But thankfully that's not the case. We've avoided that fear, and so far so good. She's been really happy to pet and say hi to every single dog of every size, so that fear has been avoided.
So yeah, we just wanted to explain that we didn't go, and the reason why. So yeah, we just wanted to share that with you guys.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Hey Charlie, what's the stick for?
Around about 8 months ago, we did some serious mods to our tender. One of the things we did is we added this collar on here for extra stability, which makes the tender very, very stable and stops splashing and helps us get on the plane. And also, because this is our life raft, it meant that our tender was unsinkable. But what we found around about a week ago, it's been perfect for the last 8 months. And then about a week ago, it just started falling apart here. This big section's come off here and it's gone all the way back to the bottom layer. It's just started to give up the ghost, and on the other side isn't this bad, but it's fairly similar. So we've found, although it was a free option, we were hoping to get a little bit more time out of it. Another thing that we found is we used XPS foam. So very, very cheap foam from Bunnings here. And we found that we didn't quite get the penetration in the resin with the flooring, and it started to delaminate a bit. So if you are going to use XPS foam, it's that much of a closed cell foam that it's very hard to get the resin to penetrate, and you need to put a lot more effort into making it penetrate, which we didn't do. These back steps we've found are absolutely wonderful, but again, there's a little bit of delamination. It's still very, very strong, but I think there's a little bit of water in them because the tender's gotten a little bit heavier. It's either that or I've gotten a lot weaker over the last 8 months. We're still happy with the tinny. I just wanted to give you an update on some of the mods we did and what worked and what didn't work. The pool noodles, they're going absolutely fantastic. On the edges here, they're working really, really well. The seats are a lifesaver in the summer. They are, you know, when the sun's beating down, the seats aren't hot. They're definitely a bit comfier. And as I said, the collar worked really, really well. What I would do differently is, instead of getting it all for free, I would maybe invest in a solid piece of foam or something like that, just something a little bit more permanent and a little bit of money on it.
We've been taking full advantage of this anchorage. The Kingfisher Bay Resort on Gari Island is incredibly cruiser-friendly, offering a warm welcome to cruisers and providing free access to fantastic facilities, including 4 pools, a hot tub, toilets, hot showers, a free washing machine, a playground, and there's even a corner store if you need any groceries or a top-up of milk or fruit, and plenty of restaurants and cafes if you want to splurge. We've made the most of the pools and have been continuing Charlie's swim lessons, and it's been amazing to see the progress she's made in her swimming skills. The area is safely within the Dingo fence, so there's no need to worry. And there's even some friendly locals who also like to relax by the pools as well. Alright, story time, guys. So a couple of weeks ago we were dropping the anchor, and I came up, got started, and Sam came up to give me a hand, and then as we got going we heard a tink, a rural sound, blink, ding, and then looked down and our cap off the windlass has come off.
So I dove for it. I saw it come off and I did a dive and just wasn't quite athletic enough to grab it before it fell down between the netting and our longeron at the front here.
We heard the worst sound that you can hear on a boat, which is a splash sound.
And then I looked, we'd pulled back into deeper water. We're at an anchorage we weren't familiar with, so we're out a little bit, and it was 14 meters under us, so approximately 15.5 meters deep, which is yeah, a little bit too deep for us to free dive down and go looking for it.
And so then we took a look at it, we did some measurements.
Yeah, so I got onto Bunnings and I was looking at lock nuts and things like that, cheaper methods of putting an end cap on it, just so that we didn't lose the gypsy on the side.
And then I got onto Muir, their Instagram page, and started messaging with Muir, gave them some measurements, and they responded right away with the type it was, what they thought. They needed a few extra measurements, they asked us to get it. And anyways, they got back really fast and we have a new cap.
Yeah, so it's a lot better looking than my option. So what we've got is it's over here. You've got the gypsy, which is this thingamajig here, and this here is because we have chain and then we have rode or rope, and so that goes in there to jam the rope when you're doing that. Otherwise the gypsy has these end bits on, the chain goes in there and goes around. What there is, and we didn't lose this bit overboard, is a little swash plate, and what happens with this one here, I'll have to clean it and grease it up a little bit. It goes on the side here like so, and then this bit here goes on, and this is essentially a clutch. So as you tighten it up, it then jams the gypsy on, locks it onto the shaft, and it works, and you loosen it off and then it free spools. Now this must have come loose over time. We don't have any chain or anything on it, so we can have it nice and tight so that this doesn't happen. But it must have just come loose over time. I haven't checked it in a long time, and yeah, it just rolled off, rolled down the deck and fell through there.
Straight through there.
But yeah, we're really happy. This came super fast, was super easy, and it fits. So we're gonna grease it all up and put it together.
Don't want to lose that ever again. From the Kingfisher anchorage, we headed down the sandy straits to a town called Tin Can Bay. Tin Can is a pretty cool hidden gem tucked away on the coast and has a pretty chill vibe. The town was originally part of the local fishing and shipping industries, and the way the town got its name is pretty cool in my opinion. Huge man-made booms that were constructed from surplus metal from World War II, and the booms collected tin cans washed down the river from early settlement years. The name has since stuck and is now proudly displayed on road signs pointing towards the town. Another significance of Tin Can Bay is that this is where Sam came to branch out from his family's fishing business to start his marine career. We tucked in and anchored in this area with easy accessibility to the town's free public wharf where you can easily and safely leave your tender. We stopped by many of the town's playgrounds equipped with clean barbecue areas, and we popped down to the local IGA where we scored some amazing specials. And we found the fuel station for a remote area pretty affordable. Tin Can is also home to some local dolphins who come same time every morning, swimming right up to the shore, greeting both locals and visitors who come to see them.
What I'm going to quickly do is give you a feeding demo.
There are only a couple places where you can feed dolphins in Australia. It is strictly regulated to ensure the well-being of the animals and their natural behaviors. There is where we are today in Tin Can Bay, and the other one that we know of is on the other side of the country in Western Australia, in a place called Monkey Maya, where Sam had the pleasure of working as a dolphin feeder. These are Indo-Pacific bottlenose dolphins, and they have a super friendly nature and are commonly seen in the area. The volunteers have given each dolphin a name and know their ages as well as their family connections. They know who's the mother, father, son, daughter, uncle, or aunt in the dolphin community. They also keep a close eye on the health of the dolphins. You can see on this fellow here, he's had an old wound on his back from a run-in with a shark.
You in line for?
I'm gonna get a fishy to feed the dolphins.
You're gonna get to feed the dolphins, you and Mummy. Yeah.
Only Charlie and I fed the dolphins, as I couldn't convince Sam to pay to feed the dolphins, which he once did as a job.
The dolphin, I hold my hand out and I put it. I did this for the dolphin. And
You held the fish like this,
let it go.
let it go, and then the dolphin came up, and then he ate it. Yeah. And what was the dolphin's name? Patch. Thank you so much for watching, and a huge shout out to our amazing Patreons. We truly couldn't do this without you. Be sure to tune in next week for an epic adventure as we head north through the Sandy Straits. There's a saying in the cruising world: there are two types of sailors, those who run aground and those who lie about it. Tune in next week to find out what happened.